All right, guys, man. Yo, listen up, man. It's me, Slimmy V, and I just wanted to talk about the phrase that says never forget. All right? And basically, that phrase has been echoed um, for every horrific event that we have faced, whether it's slavery, Jim Crow laws, 9/11, World War One, World War Two, like Pearl Harbor. Says never forget. Now I'm hoping, right, for the common sense folks out there that never forget means, you know, don't forget how we got in this mess, so we never put ourselves in position to be destroyed like that again. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that we are ready, right? If we have such a heinous attack like we did on 9/11. But I am really tired of that phrase, and I don't think it does us well mentally. It makes us weaker, it makes us sad, it makes us angry. And sometimes I feel like we get nowhere with always remembering death or never forgetting a sad situation. Now, I understand the sentiment of it, but for the most part, we are a nation that celebrates death. 9/11, not to say we don't remember, not to say that we shouldn't remember those who had passed from that horrific day, but to have in our minds, like I basically was there. I mean, not there, right? But I was alive at that time, old enough to know that there are things on that day that I want to forget. The fact that there were people jumping to their dooms from 80 something floors, from these high windows, knowing full well that they're going to die. You either burn up in the building or let the building crash and fall on you, or you jump out to your doom. Images like this I want to forget. Images such as firefighters and policemen, our first responders that went in that building knowing 90% of the time they're not coming back out. That, I mean, it's heroic, but and it's nice to know that we got brave men and women willing to put their lives on the line to save people they never met, to save people they never knew. But knowing that people died in droves, and there were doctors, police officers, firemen, nurses, janitors, teachers, business owners, future children. People died on that day. And I don't know, but I just feel that there's something wrong with how we go about celebrating this day. And not to say that it's a celebration or it's a commemoration, right? To remember those who sacrificed their lives. But does it weigh on you? I don't know if you know where I'm coming from. Does it weigh on you? My parents, right, just a few years ago, passed away. We did the whole funeral. We did the whole cemetery thing where we buried them. But I don't know. I'm not one of those people who go year after year to the cemetery to remind myself that my parents died. I can't do that. God bless those that do, but I am coming from a place where this affects me mentally, and who knows how many other people this affects mentally. I cannot go to the cemetery, right? Not that I haven't made peace with it. That's not even about that. It's about the fact that to go there, to know that my parents are dead, brings images of their suffering. I could see my dad and my mom suffering as they laid there months, weeks, and days. Suffering, not talking, having a hard time breathing, unable to eat, unable to breathe. The pain I seen on their face was inexplicable. So when this nation celebrates death, when they talk about Martin Luther King's birthday, they talk about his sacrifice, right? And not to minimize that, right? I understand the sacrifice that Dr. King did, that Malcolm X accepted. I understand that. But I feel like death is being celebrated. I remember when President Barack Obama was in office, this was something to do with abortion, where they lit the White House in a color that celebrated abortion. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that was during Obama's presidency. But that's a celebration of death. You don't know how many children have been killed because of abortion. Not to say that women should not have their choice or what to do with their bodies. But a child has his own body. And depending on what you believe, that's besides the fact right now. But this is a nation that celebrates death. And right now, there are so many wonderful children going to school, living their lives. Businesses are being opened. People are doing humanely things. There are people taking care of the homeless. There are people clothing the naked. There are people feeding the hungry. There are people adopting children. Children they don't even know, bringing them into their homes. Those are the things that we should celebrate. We should celebrate life. Again, I understand the whole 9/11 thing, but it feels like death is being celebrated. Like, remember what happened? You should fear this. Fear. Fear. They teach in fear. They teach in death. What happened to life? What happened to faith? What happened to strength? Fear mongering all over the place. You go outside, you fear for your life because you're afraid of what cops will do to you. Instead of saying, damn, these cops are here to protect your life. You put fear into people's heads. Fear is what made us discriminate against Muslims, against Arabs. Fear did that. We as a nation need to change our mindset. We need to look to life. We need to celebrate life. We need to save life. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think we should remember the Pearl Harbor, remember 9/11. Now what? Remember COVID? What are we doing? All this stuff impacts you mentally and you do not realize that. Trust me, man. I think we're gonna be a lot better. Not to say we're not gonna not to say to not celebrate the brave men, okay, the firemen, the police, the doctors, the nurses, the ambulance that went into the building on 9/11 to save lives. I'm not saying do not celebrate that, right? Of course we're going to remember, right? But in the way that they do it, it's all about fear mongering. It's all about how can I put fear into into the minds of these citizens so we could implement more draconian laws. Now we want cameras on every street corner ever since 9/11. Now we don't mind our phones being tapped once in a while. Now we got all these emergencies being sent to our phone, scaring us, putting fear into our hearts, into our minds, having us scared to go outside, having us scared to live. Fear, death. Let's move away from that. Let's look at faith and life. Don't twist my words. You know exactly what I mean. And this whole 9/11 thing, right? People died. Many lost their lives. Many lives were forever changed. Let them rest in peace. Let those who have passed, who have gone, let them be in history books. Let them go. My mom and dad, they passed. I have to let them go. All I could do is just remember the good times, the laughter, the places that we went. I could just celebrate those moments. But for me to say, remember, you know, and all I see is death. All I see is fear. The media knows what they're doing. They have control over you. They have control over your thoughts, over your mind. Shut the TV. Let those who have passed rest in peace. Stop fear. Grab faith. Enough with death. Celebrate life. If you're not offended, you probably wasn't watching or listening. I'm Slimmy V, and this is the most offensive podcast ever. God bless, stress less, and let Yahweh do the rest. I'm out. Peace.